So creativity has a confused reputation in business. And it's confused because I think it's seen as a business critical asset. Everyone wants it, but it's also largely confined to the marketing departments, often design departments, and it's quite ambiguous as a concept as well. So the next 15 minutes won't do the concept justice, if you like, because it's a big topic to discuss. But I hope it'll start to encourage you to think differently about creativity as a business asset and to look at the way it is redefined and utilized in your business. Because we think that creativity should be the heart of every business, at the heart of its culture, at the heart of its strategic decision-making, and at the heart of its operation. So it's a critical and essential component of a company's success. If you look at a number of reports right around the world and a quick type into Google, creativity as a business asset or in business, and it'll throw you up hundreds of reports. These are 4 of them. You look at a survey of IBM, 1,500 chief executives. Creativity cited as the #1 factor for the future of business. The World Economic Forum, surveys by Forrester's, surveys by Adobe. All of these say the same thing, that creativity is essential to the future success of business. So if it's so desired in business, why is it not always found? Or why is it not always seen or embraced outside the traditional realms of creativity, marketing, design, and so on? It's often because it's far too often confined or undefined or misaligned. So when you're in business, it's, as I said earlier, it's confined to the marketing department, or it's undefined. People can't really get a handle on what creative or creative thinking is in business. And we're not really sure how to use it in a broader business context or what it can be used for. So this confinement or something that is ill-defined or is misunderstood leads to creative ambiguity, and it leads to distrust ultimately for creativity as a business critical asset. So what happens then is leaders and CEOs and business owners use this phrase, creativity is for that lot over there in marketing. It's seen as brainstorms that go nowhere, concepts that don't seem to have any tangible value or novelty value at best. And to be frank, in the minds of many managers and many leaders and many employees, it often seems to create, in a business context, more problems than solutions. So it's usually summed up with this phrase, creativity's for that lot over in marketing. So what we want to do with creative thinking and what we need to do, perhaps now more than ever coming out of the pandemic, is move creativity in business and creative thinking from ambiguity to an asset in business. And we think that needs to happen because it is so critical for our business's future. The way we join dots differently, the way we think about our business differently, the way we build a business differently. And often it's the essence of what our business is, because I think if we don't have creative thinking at the heart of our business, we can't redefine and realign what our business is, and we can't allow our business to grow. So we need to get it out of the marketing department, out of the design department, and right into the heart of the business. And I think in the print industry, we almost have a head start on embracing creative thinking more fully, because you have, at the heart of all of your businesses, you've already embraced creativity at some element, at some level of your business. So you've got a head start on all of those other businesses who still can't figure out what creativity is, let alone how it applies to a broader business sense. So there's some understanding of the power of creativity in your business. So how do we not just discover it, but how do we transform it in your print business? Because ultimately, creative thinking at the heart of your business, broadly speaking, could be your greatest USP. Because no other business has your management team, no other business has your employees, and no other business has that unique combination as a result of lived experiences, perspectives, creative thinking, and opinions that when blended together can give you a completely new perspective and unique perspective on how you can deliver your business and what you need to do with your business to make it more successful in the future. And that creative thinking can be used to develop new products, find new customers, serve existing customers better, create operational efficiencies, cross-sell products, explore new markets, develop new partnerships, expand the business. And every business wants to do that. But the unique blend, as I say, of employees and managements and perspectives and creative thinking and viewpoints and opinions give you and your business a unique perspective on all of those elements, as long as you can harness that creativity in a broader business sense and implement that creativity in a broader business sense. And it's worth saying at this point that every business started with a creative idea. It started with a desire to change something, to develop a new product, to find a new solution, an aspiration to change the industry in a large or small way. No one, or at least I hope no one, ever said, I've got no idea, so what I'll do is I'll start a business. But then somewhere along the way, that inherent, that embedded creativity that started that business gets smothered and gets compartmentalized and shoved into marketing or into the design development in your business. So if we started a business with creativity, then we kind of end up with a business in iteration, because we lose the essence of what that creative idea was in business. And why is that? I think it's for the three main reasons. Because we're unsure how to embed and enable creativity across the business. Sometimes we lose sight of why it needs to be enabled in a wider, broader context across business. And sometimes we don't know exactly what it is. That ambiguity again, what is creative thinking that needs to be enabled across the business? So what do we need to do to rebrand creativity and to re-engage the creative thinking process across business? Fundamentally, we need two core components to be acknowledged. We need three characteristics to be embraced, and we need four myths to be busted. So those two core components, creativity needs two things to flourish. It needs freedom. It needs a cultural environment that is conducive to the free flow of ideas. But then it also critically needs a framework. It needs a robust process to capture, curate, revisit, and deliver those ideas. And that goes back to that point about brainstorms that go nowhere, intangible value of creativity, and so on. That's because we've acknowledged one of the components, a cultural environment that's conducive to the free flow of ideas, but we haven't built a robust framework within that business to capture, curate, test, revisit, and deliver those ideas. Because it's a fundamental misconception, I think, in business that creativity only works when it's free to dream, so to speak. And that is true initially, for sure. But then you do need a robust process to capture those ideas, test them, rigorously test them, collaborate on them, revisit them, and deliver those ideas. And then we need three characteristics as a business. We need to reset the expectations, particularly amongst management, but also amongst employees, around what creative thinking is in a broader business context, how the process works for delivering it, for capturing the idea, for looking at the idea, for considering the idea, for delivering that idea. And then we need to think about how it's delivered and what the time frame is for that delivery and what is the realistic expectation of that delivery. And then we need to assign responsibility for the creative thinking process to someone. There's again another misconception that if an idea is strong enough, it'll somehow deliver itself. And the example I often use in my workshops is concrete is strong, but it doesn't mix itself. It needs us to help it create a great foundation. And the same is with creativity and great ideas. So we need someone to have the responsibility to drive the creative process once the idea is being delivered. Some businesses have a creative or a chief ideas officer, and I'm not suggesting we can have that, but we can assign that responsibility to someone in the business who is responsible for curating, revisiting, driving that business. And then we need commitment to the ongoing process of creative thinking. It might not bear fruit tomorrow, but it will eventually bear fruit. Those ideas will bear fruit. The more we do it, the more confident we become of it, and the more we are able to see how creativity fits within a commercial context. The more we do it, the stronger it will be, and the more ideas will flourish. And then we need to bust 4 fundamental myths when it comes to creativity. The first is that ideas come perfectly formed. They don't. They come as a lump of clay, and a really ugly lump of clay that needs to be shaped. The second is that ideas come to life on their own. They don't, they need us, and they need lots of us. They need a collaborative process, not just one person with a great idea who believes their idea is better than anyone else's. It is, as I said earlier, the combined perspectives and life experiences and opinions of others that shape it. We need to bust the myth that there's a creative gene, that somehow people are just naturally more creative. No one in business is Picasso or Rembrandt, or, for a UK example, Constable or Turner. Everyone has a creative contribution to make in a business context. And then one of the worst myths of all, if an idea is not right for right now, it's not right at all. That's a terrible thing to be hanging on to when it comes to creative thinking. We need to revisit those ideas that have come out of that one brainstorm. When new opportunities arise, when new people come with new perspectives on them, when the market changes, when there's a new product, when anything changes, we need to have a bank of those curated ideas held on to by the person who's responsible for that process that we can revisit with fresh eyes. The new P&L came to me 6 or 7 years ago, and I experienced something in business, and I felt at that point, that business needed a new P&L, a more principled and leadership approach to business. And I held on to that idea for 5 years and revisited it from time to time. In 2019, we launched the podcast, and it's been hugely successful. But if I hadn't kept that idea, curated it, revisited it, and then tested it time and time again until something worked with it, I wouldn't be sitting here today. We wouldn't have a podcast that is in the top 10% in the world in terms of downloads, and we wouldn't have the new P&L Brand Purpose Institute. All of that came from revisiting, curating, and holding on to that idea. So we've got to be fair to the idea. We've got to allow it to breathe and to take time to reassess it with fresh eyes all of the time. At the new P&L, we've got one of our methodologies of the mantra principle. And it's an acronym that looks at how we weave strategy and purpose and back into the business. And the N in that acronym stands for Nation of Creatives. And that is because we believe there is a nation of creatives in every business, and right across that business, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the permission, waiting for the chance to demonstrate their creative thinking and their creativity in business to the benefit of you and your business operationally, strategically, and commercially. But we have to find a way, and we have to find a process, and we have to find a cultural environment that allows them to express that creativity to mutual benefit. And all we need to do, all in inverted commas, we need to do is just redefine what we think as leaders and management teams and employees, what creativity is in a business and what creativity can offer us in a business. And then we need to deliver the freedom for that idea, to develop that idea, to express that idea, to collaborate on that idea, to shape and mold and free that idea. And then we need the framework to enable it to flourish, to get it from ideation, from the concept, to creation, to delivery. And the more ideas we deliver on, and the more we build that framework, the more people will believe that creative thinking and creativity has so many more advantages to business than just marketing or just design. So we need to redefine what creativity is, and then we need to deliver the freedom and a framework to allow it to flourish. That's it. I hope you got something out of that. If you want to connect with us, principlesandleadership.com, or you can go and see the new P&L or listen to the new P&L, Principles and Leadership in Business podcast on all of the major streaming platforms, or connect with us on LinkedIn, Principles and Leadership. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Paul, for those valuable insights and for your ongoing support of the IPA. You really have been a true friend to us over the years, and especially in my career, Paul has been a fantastic and steered me straight more than once.
So thank you very much for the opportunity. Cheers, Brendan.